You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, everybody. I was just waiting for you, Gemma, then to come in.
I know, and I was waiting for you too. Good evening, everyone. How is everyone?
She's found a voice today.
I have. I am back. I am fighting fit. I'm back.
I won't go that far, would you?
Well,
you're still coughing and spluttering.
Well, yes, but not as much. Like, I'm hoping I can actually get through an hour of radio without killing everybody with my coughing fit. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough week. For anybody that doesn't know, I was beaten down with a chest infection and tonsillitis and completely lost my voice. Wasn't pretty.
I don't think anybody's really going to be. I thought everybody would be asking why you weren't speaking last week, but nobody did.
Did they not? Rude.
Yeah,
nobody.
Very rude. I missed you.
Somebody has to, don't they?
Yes. So what else did you get up to then this weekend? Because it's been Halloween weekend, hasn't it, everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, as you know exactly where I was this weekend, because we was together.
I know. Well, we did our Halloween event, didn't we? At Ordsall.
We did. The Phantasmic Girls hit Ordsall Hall.
It was fantastic as well. It was such a good night, but we're going to discuss that in a little while, aren't we?
Yes, we are. So how are you? What have you been up to?
What have I been doing? Well, I was with you on Friday. Poor Rachel's broke her leg. So she didn't come, did she?
No.
So she needs to get well soon. Call her Hop Along Gym now. And then I went up to Glasgow. So that was my weekend in a nutshell.
Just a little trip up to Glasgow.
Just a little one, yeah. But yeah, it was kind of a last minute thing, but it was it was very nice. But I had word on I think it was Friday of last week or Thursday that the new TV show is going to be aired on Thursday.
Yes. So, all bow down to Joe.
Behave.
Hey, do you know what? I tell you, I'm glad I haven't actually got your autograph. I've just got stuff that we've both signed, and I'm just going to sell that on the internet in years to come as your autograph. I'll be like, here she is, guys.
It's
not the first time for you though, Joe, is it? I mean, this is probably going to turn into a Gemma interviewing Joe interview now. Look,
sounds good.
It's not the first time that you've been on TV though, is it? I mean, you've done a fair bit of TV work.
Yeah, I've not done well. I don't like saying stuff. It's embarrassing, isn't it? But I did obviously with the UK Haunted Lads a couple of years ago, and Barry Celebrity Haunted Hotel, which was fantastic. Just needed to be a little bit more thought out, I think, with the production team and things like that. But then I worked with Peter Andre, the delightful lovable man that he is?
Well, I've got to be honest, Joe, and I think 90% of women and some men, to be fair, will be very jealous of you for that.
Yeah. Do you know what, though? He is, can you say far too nice?
No, there's a time and a place.
Yeah, to be fair, he was really, really nice. And, you know, he was walking around Muncaster Castle when we filmed there, and he was asking me loads of questions, and I gave him a few bits and pieces that he was like sat there and he couldn't believe that I'd said it. But, you know, I don't know, you find it difficult, don't you, when you talk about people like that, to actually sit there and go, oh yeah, he said this, and then you sit there and think about it and you think, no, I'm not going to say that. So
well, yeah, because I mean, technically, you can't really. Private conversations are exactly that, aren't they? Private,
yeah.
Whether you're a celebrity, a Z-lister, or whatever, a private conversation is a private conversation. So, you know, you've got to have boundaries. You've got to have respect for that other person. But
Yeah,
because obviously you did a bit of ghost hunting with him.
yeah.
So how did that go? How was he? Because the one thing that I always wonder is with celebrities doing ghost hunts, especially when they are not paranormal investigators, they're not really into the paranormal, but hey ho, they're getting paid, so they're going to turn up and do it. What are these celebrities actually like to work with?
Okay. I need to be really diplomatic now, since when have I ever been diplomatic? But some of them are absolutely fantastic. John Thompson from Cold Feet, he was amazing.
His friend that was with him on that, because I know exactly you're on about Celebrity Haunted Hotel with this one, and his friend was actually caught chucking
stones and things, and it wasn't great. And you know what, I think in the back of my mind at some point, I think he was either dared to do that because he was coming on the paranormal show, and he must have told somebody, because he would have never have thought that would have been acceptable in a month of Sundays. And to be perfectly honest, when he did get caught out, Matt Richardson did bring him out of the barn area.
Yeah.
And
that was well documented anyway, in all fairness to that production team, because it did come up straight away what had happened, and then it was spoke about the next night. So from a viewer's point of view, 10 out of 10 for that one, because if that was to happen, to me as a paranormal investigator, I would not be happy with that. If one of my guests was doing that, I would create.
I mean, obviously it was, you know, it wasn't myself who was involved in that. It was a couple of the other lads. And, you know, it's just the whole, when we were back in the green room, you know, waiting for our next segments to happen, it was just really, really apparent that it was just not right. And we weren't prepared for that. But I think it's like anything else. Justin did actually come out and say he did actually get scared, and we actually stayed in the barn with Justin and John Thompson, did Emily and I. And I said to him, you know, do you want to ask a question? And he was like, no, I don't want to ask a question. And I said, why not? And he actually said to me, he went, because I'm scared, Joe. And I was like, you're not scared. I said, you've just taken the mickey out there. And he went, Joe, I am petrified. So
do you think that was more of a let's cover up how scared I actually am?
Yeah, I think some people have got different mechanisms, haven't they, for coping? And some people, I mean, it's like, I know, forgive me for saying this, but if somebody passes away, you usually have people who, you know, cry and, you know, mourn sort of thing. And then you've got people who just don't accept it and just go on about the daily business like nothing's happened, or, you know, or something major happens and people laugh. It's like that nervous laugh, isn't it? But I think that was just his coping mechanism for just being there, and obviously being on live TV as well, which was even harder because none of the celebrities had been briefed on what was actually going to happen that night. So, we had the likes of Chloe Madeley trying to take the mickey and her boyfriend, and that kind of backfired on Chloe because she didn't believe in any of it. But that's when we captured that, what looked like a face in the mirror. But it's like anything else. Was it a face? Could it have been pareidolia?
Yeah.
You never know, do you?
Well, there is ways to find out, isn't there? Let's be honest. That could be. You could take that and you could examine it and you could find out. But I think that's irrelevant now, to be fair. Do you know? I mean, that's been and gone, hasn't it? And,
yeah.
And since that, you've done the Peter Andre, you've done the This Morning.
Yeah, I did another feature for This Morning with the haunted teddy bear this time last year as well. So with a couple of the This Morning viewers.
Bolsover Castle, wasn't it?
Yes, that place is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you see, I like Bolsover. I've been there twice. It's one of the places that I've not visited that much.
Yeah,
when I have, I loved it.
It was really funny because when I walked into one of the rooms, I actually said to the young girl who was taking me around, and I said, "Who's the lady who keeps following people round?" And I said she'd touch people's hair and make sure it was all straight. And she said, "It's funny you should say that because the brides used to get ready in this room, and a couple of people had said that she was smoothing people's hair and things like that." And I was like, "Oh, that's strange."
I remember talking to you as you was on your way to Bolsover Castle, and I just remember saying to you, when you get there and you're all ready to start investigating, don't forget to go into the kitchen and say hello to the lady. Do you remember?
I do remember slightly because, I mean, it's been a year already as that. But yeah, I remember I was quite drawn to the kitchen because it's quite big, isn't it? And then there's that little staircase that kind of goes down the back of the castle. I mean, the castle isn't a grand castle. It's a very compact, very quaint castle, but it's very, very decorative, isn't it, inside? And it's just absolutely stunning. Like the Great Hall itself is just amazing with all like the tapestry and the curtains. It was just mesmerizing, and in the dark that place is so like foreboding. It's really
walk
strange.
Up to it from the main entrance as well, when you've got to walk that whole path on your own
by the oak tree with
the
plague pit and things like that underneath. It was like, oh gosh,
it definitely adds to the atmosphere of the place without a doubt. Definitely.
I think the riding school though as well has got its own dark history to that though as well, with you could hear horses and you can hear hooves and things like that, and it's really strange when you're actually looking out over the actual riding school itself, and it's the only one in England that is on a par with the Spanish riding school.
Yeah,
and it's stunning. And then you've got the ruins as well, so it's got a bit of everything there, hasn't it?
Yeah, you're not stuck for a bit of history and location in that place.
No, and they were saying to us, they were saying as well that they have a lot of activity inside the new visitors centre. So where the cafe is, they were saying that chairs used to move, and they'd come in and find things open, they'd find things moved, and it was quite funny that, because obviously I left I can't remember what time it was. I think it was about 7:00 in the morning after doing all of the feature and then filming just the last bits on the end of the feature. And it was just, honestly, it was such a great night. The girls, they'd never investigated anything at all. And to have 3 people who'd never investigated actually sitting there going, what was that? What was that? I think it just kind of gave a little bit more of a true reflection on how the paranormal world works.
You're limited in Bolsover Castle for electricity.
Yeah, you are.
In the actual castle, there is very few points where you could plug an extension lead in. Most of them that you can are on the ground floor. Now, you wasn't on the ground floor filming that segment.
No.
And I only know this because obviously I've been, so I know the layout. So I know that you was on the first or second floor, and there's no electric up there, and the K2 meter was going off.
Yeah, and it wasn't just that though. We had the Boogaloo as well there, and we had the REM pod as well. So, and it was, I think the REM pod was just going absolutely mental, and it was detecting like temperature fluctuations, and it was just, I think, just watching the girls' reactions and things like that. And obviously, I had the night vision camera, so I was watching the cameras all night and seeing exactly what was happening, and to see like the light anomalies coming out of the fireplace, and just having a look round, and then one of the girls saying, I could have sworn I heard something. That to me is just, it's priceless, and it's not entertainment, it's actually real life.
I'm so sorry if anyone can hear me coughing. I knew it would happen.
Still suffering, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Nothing like what I was though. So, Jo, the new show that's coming up. What's it called?
Britain's Scariest Hauntings, and that is going to be on Pick, which is on Sky, and that starts on Thursday, the 1st of November.
Okay, so what can you tell us about this show?
Okay, so it documents 10 various venues in Britain, but there's also, I think there's a couple more venues overseas as well. I remember filming about the Merchant House and a couple of other places in America. To be honest with you, I filmed it that long ago now. It seems like it was an age ago. We filmed it in May, in April and May of this year, so quite a long time ago. But the first episode is centered on the ancient Ram Inn. So we obviously we've investigated there before, and it's all details about people's personal experiences and what they've had there, and they've experienced. So I think it's going to be quite a real life kind of.
So is it like, I'm probably sounding so naive here, but you don't know if you don't ask. So is it a bit like, like My Ghost Story, where people are sat telling their stories of encounters?
I think it's very similar. I think basically what they're doing is it's more of I haven't seen a finished product yet, so I can't.
Right. Okay.
I can't really see it. The only thing that I can say is that Barry and I, we were there filming our segments more or less at the same time, and they had other people coming in filming segments from eyewitness accounts and to reenactments and things like that. So I do know that there are going to be eyewitness accounts. So I'd probably say, yeah, it might be on a par with My Ghost Story. So
you see, the thing I've been saying for a very long time now, I've lost count of the amount of times I've said we need some new programs here in the UK.
Of course we do. And it's like Celebrity Ghost Hunts on Channel 5 at the moment as well again now, and the people
I'm not gonna lie, I've not actually seen it.
Yeah, it's just obviously it's just the same old. Get some Z-list celebrities involved, and have just do a ghost hunt, which it's, I think with the celebrities that they have on that, it kind of detracts away from what you're actually trying to achieve.
Exactly. And that is the main reason why I've not actually seen it, because it's not about the ghost hunting, it's about the celebrities.
Yeah, it's to be honest, I think I'll watch the first one, but I haven't tuned into any of the others. It's just not my thing.
I've definitely not. What I want to see is more focus on the ghost hunting and the professional side of it.
Yeah, I think,
and maybe like a new person to ghost hunting, their perspective.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, I think the whole paranormal world needs a huge shake-up, if I'm honest. Massively. I think there's far too many people out there at the moment who are just riding the waves of, you know, just other TV shows. And it's kind of like, you know, let's see something new.
Well,
let's
speaking
see
of something new, it's not entirely new because they did the same thing last year, but a shout out again to the UK Haunted Boys. They did a Halloween live over on Facebook with Really TV over on, I think that was Friday, wasn't it? Because I didn't actually watch it live because obviously we was out on an event, so that would have been impossible. But that's something new. And is that the way to go, do you think? You know, rather than TV shows, should it be Facebook and getting the people involved?
To be honest with you, social media platforms these days, like the Twitter Periscope, the social media on Facebook Live and things like that. I mean, what's going to happen next? The Instagram are going to come up with another live stream platform or something like that.
Yeah.
And just, you know, that's, Instagram, YouTube, everything like that just basically showcases people's talents is just a huge platform for people like us who go out ghost hunting, who like to, you know, to film things. And I mean, there are so many events teams who are, you know, hooking up their cameras, you know, going all out on the electronics and things like that, and they just want to capture something that we can all sit there and say, yeah, there is definitive proof that there is life after death.
Yeah. Do you think it is the way to go? Do you think Facebook and doing more lives? And there's a lot of people that do record, as you say, you know, there is a lot of YouTube channels, especially for ghost hunts. I do watch quite a few. I'm not going to lie. I do. I'm subscribed to quite a few ghost hunting teams because I like to see what's happening. And especially when I can't get out myself.
Yeah, I think it's always good.
Like
I think it's always good, though, to actually watch other teams in action because, you know, everybody works differently, don't they? I mean, you know, it only goes to show you, we had guests on Friday who said, you know, even the girls at the Ordsall Hall said...
The girls that work there,
Yeah, they were saying, you know, how great we were because, you know, no disrespect to all these teams out there who work to a set time schedule and things like that, but when you have an activity and you've got somebody there who's just constantly looking at the watch going, okay, 10 more minutes now, and you're having activity happen, you know, the last thing you want to be doing is moving and going to a different room when there's activity happening.
Or stopping because it's coffee time, because the clock says it's 11 o'clock, therefore we must stop.
Yeah.
No, let's not. Let's carry on. Why would you waste activity when you've got it? Because there's no guarantee you're going to get it back again.
Exactly. And I think that's one thing that a good positive that came out of Friday night, actually.
Well, I think some of the feedback, because I like to get feedback, and I should think that 90% of paranormal investigators do love a bit of feedback. But Friday night, we did get quite a bit of feedback from our guests. And as we said, you know, from the girls that work at Ordsall Hall. And it's so nice. It's so nice to hear that, you know, you are doing something right.
Yeah, and it's good as well when you can actually give somebody a personal message, you know. And she actually sat there and she said to me, "I know exactly who you're talking about." I was like,
"Was this one of our guests?"
No, this was actually one of the girls who actually worked there, Jen. So when I was doing the welcome speech, you know what I'm like. Usually doing a welcome speech, it's usually bang, 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 done, dusted. However, it wasn't, because as soon as I walked in, I saw a man stood behind her in just like the archway. And I was like, oh, that's a bit strange. And then as I was talking, doing the welcome meeting, he was telling me stuff, and I'm trying to talk to people, and I've got him behind me going, go on, tell her. And I was like, I'll tell her in a minute. And then obviously mentioned about the personal messages, and if I do get anything, then I will pull you to one side. And as I was doing it, all I could see was this big, bright light behind her head. And I thought, I cannot get away from this, because otherwise he's never going to leave me alone if I don't. So that was good as well. And then it was just It was really, because we set off in different groups, so we kind of didn't stay together, did we?
No,
we
no.
kind of like, because obviously there was only the two of us there. Majority of our guests who come do book on with us all the time, so they know how we work, don't they?
Yes, yeah.
So we split up onto different sides of the house. I went into the kitchen with a few guests, and you went onto the upper floors, didn't you?
Yeah, but let's go back a little bit. Before we split up, we was all in the main hall.
In the Great Hall, wasn't we?
Yeah.
That was really strange.
Well, there was footsteps above us.
Yeah, I kept hearing tapping as well, didn't we?
Tapping
from behind us.
That chair that I sat in, as soon as I sat in it, because I basically sat at the head of the table, and as soon as I sat in that chair, I went really dizzy. At first, I was like, is this because I'm still not very well? Is it because I'm still not 100%? Because you have to take that into mind.
Yeah.
Not everything on a paranormal investigation is going to be paranormal, but on top of feeling dizzy, my chest felt really tight. But again, I just put that down to the fact that, I'm on antibiotics, I've got a chest infection, I've not been able to breathe properly all week, so not really surprised. And then I said to somebody, does somebody want to swap seats? And as soon as I swapped seats, I was absolutely fine. But the person that sat in the chair that I was sat in started to feel different experiences as well.
She did, didn't she? And then
so everybody just kept swapping, didn't they? And everybody took it in turns to sit at the head of the table.
Yeah, and it was quite amazing actually, because one of the girls who'd never ever been on a ghost hunt before, she went and sat in the chair, didn't she?
She did.
But the thing is, what we've got to tell everybody is that when you were sat in the chair, nobody discussed how they felt whilst they were in that chair. So there was no power suggestion, there was nothing. And then once we'd finished that experiment, we all decided to have a bit of a chat about it. And it came up that all of you felt dizzy. All of you felt something pressure-wise on your chest. And all of you, and all of you felt uneasy in that chair, which was very strange.
Yeah, definitely. But that, I like it when you get stuff like that happening, especially when you are on a public investigation. And, as he said, as soon as I sat in that chair and as soon as I moved, I didn't say why I was moving. And then I got everybody to swap, and I was watching people's faces as they were sat in that chair. So I would go up to them and it would be like, you all right? You all right there? Well, actually, I want to move. And I was like, don't tell us what's happening. Swap with somebody, we'll discuss it after. So we made a conscious point of saying we are not discussing this right now.
Yeah.
It is up for discussion once everybody who wants to sit in that chair has sat in it. But from what the girls were saying from Ordsall Hall, that chair is reasonably new.
Really?
New to that building anyway. Not a new chair. It's quite clearly not a new chair, but it's new to the building. So that was interesting. And I did quiz them a little bit on where the chair came from as well.
Right.
We might get into that more as this conversation goes on, Jo, because we've not really spoken about Friday between ourselves. So there might be something that comes up as we're talking in relation to this chair. So we'll keep that one under its little hat. So
okay then.
So then we separated off and you went into the kitchen. So what happened in the kitchen?
Everything was going fine, and it was like it was really strange because obviously there's a motion sensor light just near to the back of the fireplace, which has got a glass door, and you can't open it because obviously as soon as you walk past it, the light comes on. And I actually put the light on, and it was really warm in that room. I don't know why it's so warm in there, but there is a well on the inside of the kitchen, so with like a plastic sheet over it. Now there was a table, so I set up some bits and pieces on the table, like a REM pod and the spirit box. But it became apparent to me that there was somebody in that room with us. Now, Liz, love her. She is just amazing. And, she was getting really involved. She was asking questions. She was using a few profanities like, people do. Now,
I'd be more concerned if people didn't, actually, in all fairness.
So, with regards to swearing and things like that, now most people don't understand. Now, Ofcom rules state that you're not allowed to swear on radio and things like that. So we knew when this person came through and started swearing and things like that, it wasn't something that was. How do I explain this?
But you're not going to drop the F-bomb on a radio.
No.
So you know that it wasn't a radio channel coming through.
Yeah, that's what it was. We'd had like all the nice voices, everything come through. We'd had somebody say somebody's name. We'd had, saying that I'd got a torch in my hand. We'd had all of those intelligent answers, and then all of a sudden the energy shifted. And I just looked at somebody and I said, you've brought somebody with you. And then I went on to tell this person's name and described him, said he's got a skinhead and he's about 5'11". I said, he's done something to his neck. And I said, I don't want to say. I said, they basically showed me like a hangman's noose, but it wasn't a rope, which I found really strange because I've never had that before. So if somebody's took their own life before, they've usually shown me, ways and means of how it's happened.
Yeah.
But this one wasn't. This one was quite bizarre. It was like all these little jigsaw pieces, but they were just all scattered everywhere. And I was like, that's a bit random. And obviously now knowing, it became apparent there was something wrong with this guy's neck, and he was only a young lad. But he did pass away in a car accident. But he didn't have a seatbelt on. So,
oh no.
Yeah. So obviously, but this person actually knew about this person because they'd seen them in work. So obviously it's kind of like that. And it was unbelievable. And this person just stood there and looked at me and said, I can't believe you've just said that. And it's like, you've just described him to a T. Everything that you've said is correct. And I was like, well, yeah. But then I just think, I don't know, for some reason, I was just on form. They were being, Liz was touched. She had the scruff of her jacket being pulled. I was stood near the door, nowhere near anybody else. And I felt somebody tug on my jacket, on my arm. And it was like, what the hell was that? And it happened about 3 times that did. But it weren't just to me, it was to Liz as well. And it's just some things you just can't explain. And that is one thing that I couldn't explain that night.
Yeah. Well, while you was, because the layout of Ordsall Hall is, it's a big building separated into 2 quarters. So if we say that you was in the west wing and I was in the east wing, we are nowhere near each other. You can't hear each other. It's impossible. So we was upstairs in, we'll call it the bride's bedroom because there's a really nice dress in there. I can't remember the exact name for it. So the bride's bedroom it is. So we was in there and the guests was doing a Ouija board. I was being the torch lady. And there was getting quite a bit coming through on the Ouija board, which is great, wonderful. But then we could hear voices from downstairs. Clear voices. It was like, okay. I said, I'm really sorry, guys. Jo must be coming through with her group. So Mark, one of our guests, got a bit brave and he said, well, I'm off to have a look. So I was like, high five, off you go, sunshine, good luck. He come back up and he was white. And he was like, Gemma, there's nobody down there. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, there is no one down there. He said, I ran through the Great Hall to the staircase and I still can't see or hear Joe's team. There is nobody near us. And there was like 6 of us, 6, maybe 7 of us. And all of us heard voices, but there was nobody there. And the girls that work at Ordsall Hall had gone off with you.
Yeah.
So There was nobody else in the building. So where was those voices coming from? There was no radio playing. There was no TVs on. They turned all the electric off for us. So whose was the voices?
Exactly. That's what's good about that place, though, isn't it? It's got so much history attached to it, and they're all different eras as well when they've actually been built. So the original hall was probably built in around about the 1300s, and then they extended, didn't they?
Yeah, in
and
about the 1600s.
Again.
I know there was an extension built in the 1600s. But do you remember the two pictures that were in the kitchen side of the building on the first floor next to the staircase?
Mm-hmm.
So those two pictures are of the last people to own Ordsall Hall.
Ellis and Mary.
Yes, Ellis and Mary. So those pictures wasn't even in the UK. They've literally just been returned back to Ordsall Hall. And the girls that work there said since those pictures have been returned, activity seems to have increased.
Yeah, I remember going up there actually and doing a spirit box session in there, and you could hear a woman talking on the spirit box up there.
Could you make out what was being said, or was it
not really? But I know Mark. We got the FLIR camera out, and we were having a look at the heat signatures from people, and you could see actually somebody stood by the doorway, and it was absolutely freezing. And Mark was like, "Oh, that's strange. I've not seen that before." And we actually showed everybody. You know, you could actually make an outline of a person out, and it was freezing cold. But then obviously it was quite warm in that building in certain areas and really cold in other areas. But there was no reason for that cold spot to be where it was.
That's interesting, because I wasn't with you for that bit.
No,
so I obviously didn't know that had happened.
So yeah, but there was. I know Mark did. He did record quite a lot of the spirit box session in there, so it will be quite interesting to listen to that back.
Yeah, Mark recorded pretty much all of the night, and once he's got the footage and he's gone through the footage, he's going to send me bits. So as soon as we get that, obviously we can pop it on Phantasmic page for everybody to see. But yeah, it was an amazing night, and I think from my point of view, you know, because I've not been very well, I really was a bit unsure about whether or not I'd managed to get through the night. I mean, let's be realistic. One of our guests was pretty much holding me up at one point, so it was like, oh, I think I'm dying. I'll speak to you through the Ouija board. Joe, you're naffed. I'm going to haunt you. Do you know what I mean? It was one of those nights. But I think from a paranormal investigator's point of view, it was one of those nights that just give you that burning passion back for hunting.
Yeah, I mean, we've not done it for ages, have we? I think the last place we went to was back in July. Due to venues double booking us and obviously, you know, cancelling events at last minute and things like that, which, you know, isn't great for us because we've been after wanting to go out for quite a while, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, I see. I have been out since our last event, haven't I?
I know.
I had Mambi, RAF Mambi, right by me, but unfortunately, that's now been burnt down. So I don't even have that local anymore that I can just pop out to.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be some other bits, some like other venues that are coming. Well, I did tell you, didn't I, on Friday about a potential venue that
you did,
that I've actually just been given the telephone number for. And to be honest with you, from what I've heard, and this is actually from a gentleman in the village where I live, and he's not the sort of person that will, you know, say to you, I've experienced this. He's quite a man's man, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, is he like a nifty tufty man, and he wouldn't admit to being scared of spiders even if he was? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, lovely guy. Just happened to see him in the local shop, and he was like, "Oh, I've been meaning to talk to you," and I was like, "Oh, that's nice." So obviously he went on to tell me about where he's currently working, and he went into certain details about this property. And the more I thought about it, I was like, there is a reason why I saw him in that shop that night. Because
everybody's brought into your life for a reason.
Yeah. And then the night before, apparently one of the girls who were locking up had actually said she was locking up and she'd put the flood barrier up. And then all of a sudden, she looked back to see 3 people stood there waving her off.
Wow.
There was nobody in the building. So, yeah.
See. Yeah, so this is a possibility for us to go and investigate.
Yeah, so I can't wait for that. So, you know, when you're sat there saying, let's do a Facebook Live, or do you think it's going to be the next big thing? That is going to be an epic live stream for us to do.
Good. I think, I think it is the way to go. I really do. I mean, it's all well and good signing up and doing TV shows, but praise the Lord for on demand and being able to record on TVs, because do I get to watch many TV shows as they come out live? No. Can I plug something in, or can I, if I'm driving, can I hook my phone up to the car? And even if I can't watch it, can I listen to it as I'm driving along? Yes, I can.
Yeah. It's kind of, I think the way forward is going to be 2 platforms at the same time. I think that's what's going to happen. I think something's going to come out technology-wise where we can stream on a number of different platforms, not just 2. I'm saying 2 because you'd need two items of electronic devices to be able to log into that social media. But it's becoming increasingly easy now for just Joe Public to be able to record, to edit, to everything's becoming less sophisticated and easier to use, whereas years ago nobody would have even thought about editing their own videos.
No, without a doubt, definitely not. I mean, in all fairness, Joe, would I try and edit something? No. Can I watch footage? Yes, I can watch it for hours. Can I edit it? Yes, I can. Can I get it in sync? No. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. And I'm quite happy to say that I know where my weaknesses are. But do I want to improve on them? Not really. But I've got a son that's extremely good at stuff like that. So, I would just say, mate, do me a favour.
Exactly. He'd love it anyway, wouldn't he? Because, he does come on. So he is a good little paranormal investigator.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely. I haven't got no qualms about the fact, and I know that some people frown upon it, but I have no qualms about my son being the next generation of ghost hunters at all. He loves it.
Exactly, and I think it's great for for the next generation. I mean, we're talking like 15, 16-year-olds now getting into the paranormal, and the likes of Zach Bagans. I know we all, we frown upon all these TV shows and things like that, but it is down to those guys that has kind of made it cool again, isn't it?
Yeah.
I must admit,
well, media studies is something that they do at school now. I know one of the options for my daughter, bearing in mind she's 14, one of the options that she could have taken was media and game design.
Yeah.
Those options wasn't around when I was, well, listen up me. Oh, God, I sound like my mum. When I was a child, I could go downtown, get a bag of chips and come back with change. But it's true.
To be fair, though, I think I went to a good school, and we had photography and, things like that we could do, which were extracurricular to GCSEs. So I was quite lucky with media and things like that, because that's what I went on to do at university. So me,
see,
when you sit there,
I did healthcare and nursing, and that's the route I took. And to be fair, like, photography was an option at my school, but it wasn't something that really interested me.
yeah.
But we didn't have the media studies like my daughter's got now.
I think it's just that how the times have kind of come on, though, isn't it? I mean, like, my son's doing, business, and he was telling me that in year 11 he gets to go to New York, and because it's an academy, it's all paid for, apparently. I don't know how true that is, but he goes to see the World Trade Center and Ground Zero.
Do you have to be a child to sign up to these academies these days?
I don't
Can
know,
I go?
But yeah, kids nowadays, have got so much technology at their fingertips. And I mean,
I totally get that. That is a very valid point. I guess all these media studies and game design courses, and they are all to reflect the technology that is evolving.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these children, like 18 months old, 2 years old, 3, 4.
They can't
all
walk,
know.
but they can use an iPad.
Exactly. Yeah.
The world's going mad.
It is.
In fact, I remember my kids saying to me, I mean, tablets had just come out then. And I remember my kids saying to me, "Mummy, can I have a tablet for Christmas?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "You want to what?"
Yeah.
I beg your pardon. So, I mean, as a joke, I did buy them a box of paracetamol, take the paracetamols out and wrap up the box of the paracetamol. And then on Christmas morning when they opened them, and it was like, "But what's this?" I was like, "You said you wanted a tablet. I've bought you some paracetamol." I made them wait all day as well. I made them wait until tea time before I actually pulled out the actual tablets.
Oh, you rotten get.
So cruel. But it proved a point. If you want something, you have to be specific.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't expect people to be able to read your mind. If you want something, be specific, go out and get it.
Do you know what? I think that just goes for everything in this day and age, though, isn't it? I think there's so many people out there who listen. I'll never forget this, actually. This guy, he was a motivational speaker, and he always used to say to me, they can only say no. You see a gorgeous guy in a bar, and you like them.
Public Wi-Fi. You may need to update your connection.
Oh my Lord! Don't you just love it when an Alexa decides to chip in? Shush, Alexa, we're on the radio. I am so sorry.
Right on cue. But yeah,
and this just proves my point with technology.
Exactly. But when you walk up to somebody in a bar, this is what I'm trying to say. It's like, you see somebody that you really like, and the last thing you want to do is walk up to them and say, can I buy you a drink or anything like that, through the fear of sheer rejection.
Yeah, you just pop on to Tinder and see if they've liked you first.
Oh my God, that is just hilarious. No, but how funny is that, though, when you get 6,000 likes on Tinder and then you actually walk into a bar and that is it, game over? How on earth does that happen?
Well, it's never happened, so I really wouldn't know, to be honest.
Well,
but no, I mean, in all fairness, would I walk up to somebody in a bar and say, "Hi, good evening, can I buy you a drink?" Probably not, if I'm honest.
Do you know what? I think that's the way this I don't know, our generation is going, though, isn't it? I think obviously 30-somethings are either going through their first divorce or they've never been married. Some people nowadays that are our age don't even have kids.
Well,
and it's like, you kind of like look at certain people and you think, well, we talk about the paranormal and then we talk about something totally random.
I know.
It's just mad, isn't it? It's like, what are we doing? But no, I was basically saying about the guy who I met, and he said, don't ever let anybody tell you cannot do something, because at the end of the day, if you want to do something, you want it so bad, you will do everything in your power to be able to get that.
Course you will. Course you will. You've got to fight for things. Nothing in life comes on a silver plate.
No, it doesn't. And it's like anything. You've got to work. You've got to work hard. You've got to. I live by certain rules now. Be nice. Be kind. Work hard. Play hard. That's the best thing.
Yeah, good rules.
That's the best thing to live by. You know, do unto others as you would do to yourself.
Yeah.
That's basically, you know, the mottos. I like to think that I would do absolutely anything for anybody. And, you know, I would always expect, obviously, somebody to actually sit there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, massively, massively. But I think not everybody has the same views in life, do they? And I mean, I know a lot of people that but want everything brought to them.
Yeah, you can't do that. And the prime example is what we've seen on Facebook tonight and today of certain people. You know, certain people have had success and they're abusing that success now by berating people who
have lined their pockets.
Yeah, and differing opinions as well. And people have got differing opinions to what they have. You know, they're ridiculed, and I just think it's. I mean,
I welcome other people's opinions because that's where you grow as a person. If you can have a conversation with somebody about their opinions versus your opinions, and then you meet a compromise, then you're growing as a person. And I think there's always room to grow as a person. Nobody's perfect.
Exactly. How many times have we had discussions and we've both said, I actually don't agree with that. And you've actually said, I don't agree with that. Now, that to me is, you know, you compromise with your friends. I mean, the amount of times that we've been out and it's like, you drink Sambuca, I drink tequila, you know, never ever get them mixed up.
Never the twine should meet.
But that's the thing is when you can actually sit back and listen to somebody else's point of view without getting heated, without getting, you know, without having a major row about something. It's just, I just think it's the way forward. Exactly.
Yeah, there's no need. I mean, everybody's got a different opinion. No two people are ever going to have the complete same opinion ever.
The world is boring.
Somewhere along the line, somebody's going to say, well, actually, don't necessarily agree with that. And like you say, you know, I don't agree that anybody should drink tequila. Who wants a drink with a worm in it? Why would you?
Well, I just like it, don't I?
But bring on the aniseed.
That's the thing. I haven't had no tequila for quite a while, actually. So I think a very good night out is in order. I think.
Yes. I think a girls' night out is just what the doctor ordered. Maybe not this week, you know. Let me be able to breathe again first.
Before we start plying you with Sambuca.
Yeah, and a sippy drink.
Yeah. But no, I mean we've got some bits and pieces lined up for the next year. Things in the pipeline that we can't talk about.
Yeah, I mean, going on to that though, you know, it could be very, very exciting.
Very exciting.
It's a bit awkward though because we can't actually tell you what it is.
Not yet, we can't, but it's big news, to be honest. Very big.
Yeah, very exciting news. But what we can say is that once we've got the go-ahead, I reckon it might be on this show, Jo, that we discuss it, do you?
I think it will be.
I think it might be a little bit of an exclusive, yeah.
I've also done, I forgot to tell you this week, Paul Stevenson from Haunted Magazine got in contact with me last month about doing an interview because of Britain's Scariest Hauntings. So I've done that this month. So he will be publishing that probably next month's issue. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
So that's quite in depth actually. I wrote quite a lot down for those questions. So that's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, I think we're going to have some fab new events coming up in the new year. We've kind of finished now, haven't we, for this year?
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got Halloween coming up on Wednesday, so
Yes. What are your plans for Halloween, Joe?
at the minute, I'm quite far behind on my Halloween decorating, I think. And I need to find certain bits and pieces that I had last year that I can't seem to find.
What's in the cellar?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Exactly. So yeah, I might not be having the ghoulies and the ghosties this year, but I'm sure I'll find something. But yeah, I've my workplace have given me a couple of pumpkins because you know that I work for a fresh produce company. So my boss kindly bought a pallet of pumpkins, so that was fab. So I think we're having a pumpkin carving competition in work. So that's going to be exciting. And apart from that, I just get all the kids in the village that come round to the house because they like to see what we've done.
And me, I'm like, wait for me. It's Halloween.
I love Halloween. I must admit, it's probably my favourite time of year. You know, Christmas. I love Christmas for the kids. You know, the little kids. My two are too old now, but the little kids, like my little mate Deacon, bless him. I mean, he loves Christmas, and his sister Lara, she loves Christmas as well.
But at their age, Christmas is special, isn't it?
Of course,
my kids won't get up now before lunch.
Exactly. Yeah, I know that feeling.
If it's not reaching midday, then they're not getting up, Christmas or not.
Yeah, and they're just not bothered, are they? Because they know everything that they're getting.
Well, yeah, because they write you a list.
I know.
They kindly deliver you a list on what they expect.
Yeah, and it's not cheap either, is it?
Oh, no.
Let's be honest.
No.
But no, Christmas is going to be kind of special, I think. You know, it's part of the moving on sort of process, isn't it, this year? It's new beginnings. Everything's happened for a reason this year. And, you know, 2018, I think, is going to go away with a bang. But we'll have to see, won't we?
But before we get to Christmas, we've obviously got Halloween.
Yeah.
And then we've got a very special day. Well, we've got two very special days because we've got my birthday and your birthday.
I knew you were going to say that. That's why I'm hoping my cellar's finished before my birthday so that we can have a little bit of a party.
Well, we can have a party on my birthday because on my birthday we will be doing this show.
Will we?
We will.
Oh, that'd be great. Can't eat
3
cake.
weeks today, guys. It's a date.
Oh my god. So yeah. Oh my god. That means mine is fast approaching.
That means yours is exactly.
That's not good.
We'll be here before you know it.
I know, that's not good. Oh no. I need to start counting backwards.
I said that. Well, actually, I said I'm just not having any more. I'm not going backwards, but I'm not getting any older either. I'm just gonna stay.
I wish I could.
Well, I'm just staying. I stick. It's like I'm at a casino. I'm sticking.
Oh dear. But
I'm going to become Peter Pan from here on out.
Yeah, I think actually I must admit I'm just gonna embrace it, and you know, people always say life begins at 40, don't they? So I'm just gonna wait to see if that's true.
You're gonna hang in there.
Yeah. Hang in there.
You're just gonna hang in there.
Oh, you make me laugh, you do. Oh dear. But yeah, they say that though, don't they? So
well,
let's see.
So apparently life does begin at 40.
And there's only one thing that I want for my birthday as well.
Other than me.
Yeah, there is only one thing other than you that I want for my birthday. Yeah.
And are you going to disclose that?
Yeah, it's the big DIVORCE.
I thought you was going to sing me a song then.
Yeah, no, that's what I want, I think.
Well, Joe, it's that time. That hour has gone so quick.
Again, it's just like, this is just getting, you know, typical of me and you just chatting as usual, isn't it?
I can't believe how quickly an hour goes.
Yeah, it is good though. It's good fun.
It is. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to me and Joe this evening. And don't forget, you can check out all shows that are on this week. And last week's shows are on YouTube. And don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening, guys. Say good night, Joe.
Good night, Joe.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.